Good afternoon. What I want to do today is spend a little bit of time talking you through the life plan template. I'll kind of go back and forth between this and my screen so that you can see um, what I'm talking about and kind of follow along with me. Um, it can be a little overwhelming to just go point by point down a really long list. So what I try to do is break it down for you into smaller pieces. So as you can see, it looks a little bit like this. So first, what I want you to do is this is a life plan for you, your name, and put the date on there. And I think the date is important because it is going to be some sort of a memorialization of what uh, your life was like at this point. That's kind of something that we have to look at. Is how does our life change over time? It's not always the same. I think often we like to think of, well, I've always had these same problems or these same challenges, but when we really come down to it, year over year, there are different challenges, there are different strengths, there are different needs that we have. And this is a way to kind of memorialize some of that, sort of how you were seeing yourself at a certain time. So the date is not unimportant. So um, the first section is this my words and phrases. So what we want to do is start off with a pretty big list. So I want you to think of words and phrases that represent you. So for me, I might say loyalty. I'm very loyal. Um, I might say energy. I have a lot of energy. I might say um, extremes, right? I seem to be a kind of a person of extremes. I have really strong feelings about things. So when I look at these, you're going to do 20 to 30 of these, right? So just off the top of your head, don't think about it too much. If I look at kind of the first, the kind of three words or phrases that I just gave you, I think we can kind of break them down a little bit further, right? So energy, is a good quality sometimes, right? It can work both ways. You can be sort of too much energy for people and they can't deal with it. Loyalty is the same thing, right? Loyalty seems like a really good quality, but sometimes loyalty means that you hold on to things longer than you need to, right? You're not going to give up that job that's really wearing you down, or that relationship that's not healthy. You're going to hold on to these things. So even though some of these phrases seem like really positive, there's kind of a double-edged sword to each one, right? So you're starting with this big list of 20 or 30 words and phrases. And these ones I want you just to do quickly. Just stream of consciousness. Just write them down. You might just even write it down on a list, not even bother to type if you're not a fast typer. So whatever way you can do it really quickly, do that. Now I want you to look at that same list of 20 or 30, and you're going to create a shorter list. So just cross some of them off. Just take some of them off the list. Again, think about it, take a little bit of time. And now looking at that list, looking at those words, those 10 words that are remaining, I want you to take that vision of yourself and create a mission statement. What's your mission? What are you passionate about? What is your purpose? That's kind of like your purpose statement, right? Um, think of it almost as, what would somebody say about you to sum up your life? I don't want to be negative and sort of think about sort of an epitaph or, what would your gravestone say? But I do think that it's that kind of thing where it's like, what kind of sums up what your life is about? So then I want you to come up with that personal mission statement and write it in that section. And the next section, the question in this section is, does this match your life plan? What would your goal be? So does the mission statement match how you see your life going? Like, are you on track? If not, let's come up with a goal that's going to get you on track, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to look back at the words you wrote about yourself. Because again, these are the building blocks of your life plan. So you're going to choose some of those words and place them on the chart. So which words go with which thing? Now you can use more than one. So if I were to say loyalty, I might put loyalty under family. I might put loyalty under career because I'm quite loyal to the work that I do. And I guess that's kind of where I'd put it. I'd put it in maybe those two sections. I maybe don't have enough loyalty to my physical health, right? So that's something that now I can think about and say, well, maybe I need to think more about taking better care of myself and listening to my body and stopping when I'm tired or going to the doctor or all those things that maybe I don't do. So you're going to take those words and put them on this wheel. You're at the center of this wheel. And these are the things that are kind of representing you. And again, this isn't to share. This isn't that I need to see this ever. But I think that it's important for you to see it and for you to start seeing on paper sort of how you view yourself and maybe how others might view you. So the next section is this idea of creating an intention statement. So the intention statement has to do with, what do I want to do, be, or have? How do I want to go about achieving it? How will I feel when I have achieved it? So you can use words like I am or my intention is to. So my intention is to find a career in a field I'm passionate about, something like this. So if that's the intention statement, now we have to drill down further. Well, what am I passionate about? And then if I know that I'm passionate about, education, then I can be, well, what can I do in education and how do I get there? And again, this is all an opportunity to explore your thoughts, your ideas, your passions, because we often don't do that. We often end up in a career by accident, or we just sort of grow in a career that maybe we never intended. And very rarely do we sort of take a moment to reinvent ourselves. And I think that's the opportunity where you find yourself now, is at a place where you can make that decision. You can say, hey, I'm interested in this, let's pursue that. And that's what we want to get on paper. So then determine the choices you will make to further your intention. What are the things you're going to do? Create a list of choices. So now that I'm clear about my intention to do something within the field of education, I need to do this thing to get me there. So maybe I need to go back to school, or I need to explore this more, I need to volunteer. Like, there are things that you could do to push you in that direction. And, information is never bad. Maybe you explore it further and realize, you know what, actually I don't want to do that. And you find something else. And that's just part of the process. This is all a process. Determine the choices that you will make to further your intention. So create a list of these choices. I'm sorry, we just did that. What are the challenges? Okay, so now we get to the challenges. Maybe you don't have a 4-year degree, or maybe you don't have experience, or maybe you did it before and you got burned out and now you don't want that to happen again. Or maybe there's physical challenges, or challenges because you're doing other things in your life, taking care of parents or siblings or kids. So these are all things that may change how we go about it. It doesn't have to change our goal, but it may change how we go about achieving that goal. How will I overcome the challenges? This is, again, an opportunity to be proactive. Anybody can say why I can't do something, but what we want to do is create opportunities for you to say why we can do something. List the commitments that you will make to actions that will help you achieve your desire. So list these actions. I will sign up to volunteer at church. I will go to the admissions office of the local community college. I will talk to so-and-so. I will talk to my family about my goals and how they can be part of me achieving my goals. Sometimes we see our families as a barrier to achieving our goals because they're pulling us in different directions, or they require so much time. But if we approach them with it and say, hey, this is something I want to do and I want you there for the journey, that's kind of a magical thing. And then all of a sudden you have a team. You have people on your side helping you and pushing you to achieve that goal. So again, it can be seen as an obstacle. Okay, so now financial and career. So now what we're doing is breaking down each of these segments into something that is tangible. So what is my intention statement for the finance and career? And what I want you to do is be very specific about it and speak it as if it already happened. So in August 2029, I am, and then say what it is. Don't use my dates, whatever. Just come up with your own, but be specific that at this time, this is what has happened. I am financially independent. I've paid off my debt. I'm making this much money a year. Whatever it is, this is your goal. But you have to say it as if it happened. Not that you're wanting it to happen, but it did happen. And what was that date? I choose to. And what are these things you're going to choose to do to get you there? What are the challenges? Again, there's very much, you'll see a pattern to this life plan that we're going through. How will you overcome those challenges? And then, what's my next step? So now under mental education, what's the intention statement for this? And again, talk it as if it's happened. Maybe counseling is something that you are afraid of or you aspire to, or you think maybe you've had and it didn't go well. Maybe that's an intention. Maybe that's a goal to get back in counseling. Maybe not. Maybe it's just to take some time for yourself, to have time to kind of sit and be with yourself and explore who you are. That's, again, falls under that mental health goal. So then, based on that intention statement, whatever it is, remember a date and as if it already happened, I choose to, what are the challenges? How do I overcome? Physical health, same thing, an intention statement. By this date, I will have lost this many pounds, or, been healthy, or been eating healthy, or been exercising this much, whatever it is. And then again, I'm going to choose to do this. What are my steps? What are the challenges? How will I overcome? And then the next step. Social and cultural, same. We're just going to go through this. Spiritual and ethical, these same things. Family and home. And then by the end, you have a full picture of how you're going to pull all of these things together. And then we will talk about it. Again, this isn't for my eyes. You don't have to share anything with me. This is for you. And what I want to make sure is that you have a tool that's useful for you. So that's the key to this. Okay, so get working on it. You can always rewind the video, check it out as you go through, but to take it sort of step by step. Okay, great.